Well, good morning and welcome back out to another edition of Backcountry Trails. I got a good one for you. It's going to be a two-part episode. About 4 or 5 days ago, Jerry and Dave and I got back from Yosemite National Park, where we took a crazy adventure out to Hetch Hetchy Reservoir on the, I guess, the western northern corner of Yosemite National Park. Never been there before, and I kind of always wanted to see Hetch Hetchy. I heard about the history behind it and how it fed the drinking water to the city of San Francisco, and there was some controversy on how they got the dam built, and there's even controversy on taking down the dam now. So I kind of wanted to see that. It's not in the valley part of Yosemite, so it's a little hard to get to, and we found that out. So in this adventure, it's a two-part episode. The first part is going to be our drive out to the Cherry Valley Campground. It's only 35 miles away from Hetch Hetchy, but it's a whopping hour-and-a-half drive. Windy road. It was pretty bad. But that's about as close as we could get a reservation to Hetch Hetchy. So in this first part of the adventure, we're going to set up camp at Cherry Valley Campground. We're going to drive to Hetch Hetchy, and we're going to hike to Tuilala Falls, Wapama Falls, which is the big one out there, and also Rancheria Falls, which made this almost a 14-mile day. That was a tough hike. In the second part of our adventure, we're going to go from Cherry Valley Lake. We're going to drive over the Cherry Valley Dam, and we're going to hike back into Yosemite National Park, and we're going to go to Lake Eleanor. And that was a surprise. That was a close hike. It wasn't very far, but it was just absolutely stunning. Found one of the best campsites I've ever seen in my life. And on the way back from Lake Eleanor, we saw a side trail that went to Kibbe Creek Trail. So we took the trail kind of meandering along the ridgeline out to Kibbe Creek, and that was a surprise as well. And then we head back to camp, where we got treated with a impromptu pretty heavy rainstorm and hail. So anyway, that'll all be coming up in the next two editions of Backcountry Trails. The first part, our trip to Hetch Hetchy and Wapama and Rancheria Falls, and the second part out to Lake Eleanor and Kibbe Creek. Anyway, that'll all be coming up next. Stick around. Well, we're finally heading up to Yosemite. We came up to the wonderful towns of Palmdale and Lancaster, and now we're all the way up to Highway 58, which is going to take us through Tehachapi, all the windmills as we're working our way over to Bakersfield. So in a few minutes you'll see a whole bunch of windmills. It's really noisy here in the Jeep, so hopefully you'll be able to hear it. All right, well, we're not quite into Yosemite, but we're working our way down this steep canyon to water. We don't know if it's an outflow of Lake McClure. We're not really sure, but this road is really super steep. And we did see a 10-mile-an-hour road sign at a turn, so we got a pretty scenic bridge that goes over the water. Just unfortunately, right now we're stuck behind this RV. He's been pretty good. He's pulled over several times, but we also pulled over, so it's not a big deal. But hopefully in a minute we'll get some great views of the water. Maybe we'll see a sign and it'll tell us what it is. Alright, now we can see the water coming up on the left as we're taking this nice slow scenic drive down the mountain. Tagby recreational area, whatever that is. Now there's fishing down there. There's a guy in a bass boat fishing. Oh, it says Merced River. That's what this is. Merced. I'll be damned.
Going for it? Oh, there's a car coming down the hill.
Yeah, I could have passed, I guess. I could have passed that bridge. Well, this is the Tuolumne River. It's flowing down from Yosemite as it works its way down toward San Francisco eventually. We're going to be going to the Cherry Valley Campground, Cherry Valley Lake, which is this direction here. So we thought we'd stop here for a moment and get a nice little cool shot of the Tuolumne River. All right, well, we're trying to figure out the payment situation. We've already paid for the campsite, but there's a $10 per day second vehicle. So Jerry's got to fork over $30 for the second vehicle.
Site number 9?
And, what?
9?
Yeah. And then we also got firewood. There was no firewood, no place to get firewood anywhere on the way up here. So they do have it at the camp host. There's nobody at the camp host right now. So $10 a bundle. So we got 3 bundles. That ought to get us through. They got plenty of firewood if we need more. We just went through the debacle of paying for the firewood and paying for the additional vehicle. So we're going to drive over to site number 9. I got to let Jerry go first because he's going to back in. So when we get over close to that, I'm going to have to pull over and make room so Jerry can back his Tahoe in. Alright, I'm gonna pull into this one real quick. Alright, this is 8. This isn't our campsite, this is number 8. I'm just gonna park here momentarily so Jerry can get in. Well, we have arrived in camp. We're at campsite number 9 at the Cherry Valley Lake Campground here just outside Yosemite National Park. Dave and Jerry decided to take a walk down to the water, and I wanted to go ahead and get the fire going so I can get some coals because I'm going to fire up my Dutch oven tonight, and I'm just going to make some canned bread, some bannock. It's pretty quiet. There are a few campers. There's about 6 motorcycle guys that just came in, and they're camped a little ways from us. You probably hear them talking in the background. The weather is perfect right now. It's about 72 degrees, a nice cool breeze. There's no mosquitoes, and this is a nice huge campsite. That'll be nice tonight. Well, this is my setup for tonight. I'm going to be in the dual 900-23-0 swag, and I got my little portable table set up, and I got my little fear hand lantern for later tonight, just so I have some light over by my my sleeping arrangement. We got all the stuff set up. The vehicle's right over there, the Jeep and Jerry's Tahoe. Dave's going to sleep in the Jeep today, and Jerry, of course, is going to be in the Tahoe. We do have a bear locker, so we'll have to put our food in the bear locker. This is an active bear area. So I got the chuck box out, got my Modelo. Jerry's got his teddy bear he always brings from his wife when we're in the forest. But what I do have to show you is pretty cool. And Jerry's got a solar array over there, solar charger, and also a Starlink Mini. So right now I have full, even though there's no cell signal here, 0 bars, I have full Wi-Fi calling. We can stream downloads. We can do whatever we want from here. So that's kind of cool. So maybe later tonight I'll call the wife and let her know that we're here okay and let her know how the night's going. And that's really about it. We're really not going to be on it that much, but it is nice to have that ability. Well, how's it going? Tonight we're going to be at the Cherry Valley Campground, Cherry Valley Lake Campground, just outside of Yosemite. And Jerry and Dave went down to the water to get some good shots down by the lake, and I had some time to kill, and I kind of wanted to be here in camp when we have all the stuff out because it is bear country. And I just saw a deer wander through camp not more than 10 minutes ago. So I got the fire going. I'm going to let the coals burn down, and once I get them down a little bit more, I'm going to set the Dutch oven down there and preheat it. And I went ahead and made some bannock. So what I did was I went ahead and mixed the flour and the milk and the water and a little bit of butter, and I put some cranberries and nuts and raisins in there. So I'm going to put this inside the Dutch oven, and then I'm going to cook it up tonight. We have our mountain house dinners, so this isn't the dinner. This is just something extra, you know, a good piece of warm bread with butter or jam and cream, which I also brought. Will really hit it off tonight. And we can sit and relax and camp. Tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Hetch Hetchy to hike past Wapama Falls all the way to Rancheria Falls. It'll be a round trip hike of about 12, 13, 14 miles. So we need to get fueled up for that. But in the meantime, I'm waiting for the fire to die down a little bit so I can spread the coals out. I can start cooking my my camp bread.
Hey, check it out. Cherry Valley Lake, totally unspoiled. We had to hike down to it. That's actually an island right there. It's hard to tell, but from up above you can tell it's an island. And totally unspoiled.
All right, I got my my coals spread out a little bit. I'm gonna put the bread in there. Hopefully it's not too wet. Awesome.
We did catch 2 fish with spears, but we did wiggle that.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, so, our bad.
All right, well, there's the camp bread, bannock that I made. Looks pretty good. Well, welcome back out here to another edition of Backcountry Trails. And in today's episode, we're at Cherry Valley Lake out here just outside of Yosemite National Park. We're on the west side of the park. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a hike to Wapama Falls and eventually Rancheria Falls. It should be a pretty good adventure. It should be around 12 to 14 miles, we figure. But first we had to get out here. It's quite the drive. It was almost an 8-hour drive from my house to here, and a lot of it was winding roads and steep turns and uphills and downhills. So it took a lot longer than we figured to get here. But actually, you know, when we originally figured this out, our arrival time was 2 in the afternoon. We got here at 2:30, and that's with a couple of stops. But the one thing that they don't tell you, and you don't really think about, is there's no place to get gas, and there's no place to get anything to eat or any supplies. So on the way in here, we basically drove for an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, and we didn't even go by a gas station. I filled up right before we started heading up the road toward Yosemite, and I'm at about 3/4 of a tank, I guess, a little under. But we've got a lot of driving to do. But I do have 2 gas cans on the roof of the Jeep, so that makes me feel a little better. But this is a really, really nice campsite. It just takes a lot of work to get here, and there's not that many campers. There's 4 or 5 motorcycles that came in, like adventure touring motorcycles, and they parked across the way there, and they're camped out there, a bunch of guys. And we're on this side, and there's a couple of single people camp, but nothing close. This is a huge campsite, so I've got my swag set up behind me. It's supposed to be 48 tonight, which would be nice. And cook some camp bread. That was just extra. That wasn't really the dinner. That was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to play with the Dutch oven. Actually came out really good. So I've got half a loaf of camp bread, or a damper as they call it in Australia. And basically it was just a couple of cups of flour, a little bit of milk, a little bit of water, some butter, and a little bit of sugar. And I put in some kind of like a trail mix blend. It was cranberries, raisins, almonds, cashews, and some pine nuts. And I kind of blended all of that into the dough when I cooked it. It actually came out perfect. So that was a great addition to our dinner. We haven't even had dinner yet, and I had like 3 slices of bread, so I'm not even hungry now. So anyway, so far no mosquitoes. We haven't seen any. It's about that time of year. It's mid-May, and it's not really that cold, but I did feel something kind of buzzing around my. In fact, right now they're sitting on my leg right now, biting me. but I put some. It's not DEET. It's probably 40% DEET. I use the bug wipes. I put it on my legs. It's not really cold enough to wear pants. I put this long sleeve pullover on just to keep the bugs off me. It's not really that cold, but it does feel pretty good though. The wind's kind of chilly. So I had the fire going for the damper, and then I'm kind of going to keep it down low. I'm going to keep it going so this way when we do light the fire tonight, we don't have to start from scratch. There'll still be coals in there. So right now I've got my billy pot on the fire just to heat up some water, so when it is time to do our mountain house meals, we won't have to fire up our backpack stoves. But we can if we need to. So anyway, Jerry's playing with his satellite stuff over there. He's got a Starlink Mini set up. So believe it or not, even though there's no cell signal here, we have full reception. We have full Wi-Fi. All three of us have Wi-Fi. I already called home once, and he's actually playing with his ham radio right now. And he's got everything on a solar charger. So even though we've been using it, it hasn't used any of the juice from the Starlink. And he also has a big battery backup system. It's kind of like a Jackery, but it's called something else. True Blue or Blue Eddy, I think is what it's called. And so he's got one of those. It's like a 1100 or whatever it is. So it's got plenty of power to power up not only the Starlink, but we can recharge our camera batteries or our cell phones or camp lights, whatever. So we're pretty much set. We're 21st century camping here, out here just outside of Yosemite National Park. So anyway, we're just going to relax and camp. It was a long drive to get here, so we deserve it. So we're going to hang out, have my cocktail, and as the sun sets, we're just going to relax. And once it gets a little darker, we'll kick that fire up another notch, and I'll turn on my my vintage lantern. I've got an old Coleman gas-powered lantern. I've also got a kerosene lantern to fewer hands. And another mosquito. I put bug screen on, and so far, it's not working. Maybe they're gnats. Who knows? Well, anyway, I'll catch up with you in a little bit.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, good morning. It's about 46 degrees, 47 degrees. Trying out my new little folding stove here in the campground. Gonna just heat up some coffee. Gonna make some instant coffee in my little billy pot here, and this should be a quick little brew. Should be a pretty nice day today. It was pretty quiet at the campground last night. I slept pretty good in my swag last night. Toes got a little cold this morning, but not too bad. We stayed up till about 10. Today we're going to head over to Hetch Hetchy. Well, good morning. It's Friday morning. It's about just after 6. And we're hanging out here at the Cherry Lake campground. And, it's about 45, 46 degrees. And slept good in the swag last night. And my toes got a little cold in the morning, like 5 o'clock or so. But that was just because I had somehow poked my toes out the end of my blanket. So I had to cover them back up again. Anyway, fired up my my new little tabletop stove. Super quiet. Worked real good. I brewed up a cup of Capico instant coffee. It's a little sweet, but it kind of hits the spot in the morning. I also used some of the leftover water to do some oatmeal, so it's sitting over here rehydrating a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get some calories in me this morning because today's gonna be a tough hike. We're gonna do about 14 miles, and it should be a nice sunny day. There's a chance of rain tomorrow, but nothing today, so that'll be a gorgeous day over at Hetch Hetchy. The only thing I'm dreading is that drive to get over to the campground or to the trailhead for the Wapama Falls and Rancheria Falls, because it's like an hour and a half drive, and it's really super windy. It's 20 miles an hour the whole way, and that's Car 6 City, man. So I got to make sure I get all my business done this morning, so I don't have to puke or take a dump somewhere off the side of the road somewhere. I saw a deer in camp last night while Jerry and Dave were down by the water. We were getting our camp established, and they decided to go down for a walk to the lake, and so I made some damper. It came out really good. I actually got about half the loaf left, and so it's wrapped up, but it's in the bear locker right now. So I'm gonna have my coffee and then eat my oatmeal here in a minute, and then kind of start tidying up camp and putting on my hiking clothes, getting ready for that hike out to Rancheria Falls. That'll be a good day. Well, you're approaching the Hetch Hetchy entrance to Yosemite National Park. So here's the ranger check-in booth right here. We're going to officially enter Yosemite National Park. I have one of the adventure pass, America the Beautiful passes, so it shouldn't cost us anything.
Howdy! Can I see an ID, please, sir?
All right, well, we are officially in Yosemite National Park now. It's at 7.5 miles to Hetch Hetchy. Said it hasn't been too busy this morning, but it's going to be picking up. Hopefully we'll see some wildlife maybe between here and the dam, I'm hoping. It's about a 15-minute drive, not too bad. All right, well, Hetch Hetchy is over there. The Hetch Hetchy Dam is over that way. We just got a little ways to go. We got to bend around the corner. We're going to work our way over that direction over there. I wonder if we were supposed to park back there.
No, it's right past the bridge.
Is it? So it's right here?
Yeah.
All right, cross our fingers. Good spot to park. All right, we are at the O'Shaughnessy Dam. That's Hetch Hetchy Reservoir. And you can see way off in the distance Wapama Falls and eventually Rancheria Falls way around the corner, but we're not going to be getting there for a while. So we're going to be starting our hike here pretty soon. And it looks like they're letting out quite a bit of water out of the dam. Well, this is the O'Shaughnessy Dam. It's Hetch Hetchy. And way off in the distance over there is Wapama Falls, pumping pretty good. There's a really tall fall right up there as well. That's where we're going to be heading, skirting along that. But to start, we have to cross over the dam and go into the tunnel. And if you can see that, there's a crew at the top of the dam. And down below, way in the bottom, there's a guy on a rope. I think he literally rappelled all the way down the face of the dam. That's amazing. Now here's a closer up view of the rope. The guy down at the bottom working on the moving rocks or something. Overflow. Well, this is the start of our hike up to Wapama and Rancheria Falls. This is the tunnel that leads across from the Yosemite Dam at Hetch Hetchy Reservoir. We're going to be heading down through this long tunnel and out the other side, and we're going to start working our way on the left side of Hetch Hetchy Reservoir to get to the waterfalls. Gorgeous day. It's going to be nice and sunny. It's going to be probably in the low 60s, mid 60s, but it's going to seem a lot hotter because we're going to be in the sun. So anyway, we're going to be heading this way through the tunnel. Well, as we're working our way through the tunnel to start this hike, we have to go through some water, it looks like. Nice and cool in here. Yeah. Nice and cool in that tunnel. We're going to miss that when we get out in the sun, I think. Absolutely perfect weather today. We were thinking maybe there might be a chance of rain, but I don't think so. Or just a short ways up the trail, we came across this beautiful sight. Now we worked our way up to our first official trail sign. Beehive, Laurel Lake, Vernon Lake. And then down here, how you doing, Dave?
He's still alive.
All right.
There's 2 dead ones.
Rancheria Creek 6, Palma Falls 1.6. That's where we're going, up that way right there. Wow, what a magnificent view. Way off in the distance over there is Yosemite Falls, and that's our cars parked way at the top of the road there. High classy vapor trails, cumulonimbus clouds, and a lot of cirrus clouds that way. So there's obviously a system on its way. There wasn't any chance of rain today, but this morning they upgraded it to 20-30% in the afternoon. But in the Sierras, there's always a 20-30% chance. Right down into Hetch Hetchy. I think way off in the distance at the head of the valley, I think that's Rancheria Falls. That's our eventual destination. Well, we're not too far from the first fall. First big one. Wapama Falls is still around the corner. And way off in the distance, the head of that notch over there, we believe is Rancheria Falls. Yeah, this is the first smaller falls. This is what we figure is Tuiulala Falls. And there's our first little bridge crossing. The other falls are right around the corner. Now we're working our way down this final little stretch to Wapama Falls. And it's got this magnificent work, a great view of Tuialala Falls behind us. You can see part of the bridge over here as it goes across. All right, well, we have reached Wapama Falls. This is, I guess, the new bridge. Wapama Falls is way up there. We'll get a better look here in a minute. Alright, well, we are at Wapama Falls. We finally reached the falls. There's the bridge. I had to stop put on my poncho because the mist is pretty intense right here. I'm going to be walking down along the bridge, up those steps at the far end, across the mist to the outflow of Wapama Falls. Walking across Wapama Falls right now. You can see what a magnificent waterfall that is. Got my poncho on because I'm going to get wet. Absolutely magnificent here in Yosemite National Park. Alright, well, this is Wapama Falls. This is the reason we came here. What a tremendous waterfall. And we have to continue along the edge. We're going to be climbing. We're working our way further to the north for Rancheria Falls. Well, here's another view. We are going to get wet here. This is, oh man, I'm really getting drenched now. This is another part of Wapama Falls.
Whoa, that's a good view on this side too. I didn't realize it. Wow, look at that.
All right, well, we are working our way toward Rancheria Falls. We passed Wapama Falls a while back. Trail's been meandering up and down. It's not too bad. We got a tremendous view of Tuialala Falls, or whatever we call it. And then Wapama Falls is off to the right. You might be able to see that here in a minute or two. But in the sun, it's hot. And in the shade, if you're in a spot with a breeze, it's not too bad. Haven't seen any snakes. Been on the lookout. You never know. And you still can't see Wapama anymore. We'll get a good shot coming back. A lot of wildflowers. There's lots of Indian paintbrush. We did see a few poppies. Quite a few backpackers coming in and out of here. Last group were heading the same way we were, and they looked like, well, at least one of them looked like they were having a tough time. They were really beet red. It's hot here. Even though temperature-wise, it might only be 70, feels a lot hotter than that. And here's some of our wildflowers right here. That's our Indian paintbrush right there. A little purple, a little yellow, a little of everything. So we're working our way high up above the Tuolumne River and Hetch Hetchy. Way up in the distance back there, that's the dam. That's where we crossed over. That's where the trail starts. All right, I had this guy here. This is a gopher snake along the trail here. He was rattling a little bit, trying to at least. He's gonna head back into the bushes. Way off in the distance over there is Rancheria Falls. That's where it drops down into the water. All right, well that is Rancheria Falls as it works its way down. All right, well this is the bridge, Rancheria Falls. This was a hard hike to get here. This is the uppermost portion. Nice cool breeze here. Well, we made it out to Rancheria Falls, and now we're working our way back down the trail. And to be honest, we got to haul ass because they closed the gate where the vehicles park at I think 6 or maybe 7. Somebody said that they thought it might be dusk. Well, dusk would be better than 6 or 7 o'clock because it's almost 3 o'clock now, and we're good 6.5 miles from the trailhead. So if we 2 miles an hour, we're talking 3.5 hours. There are some uphills, there's also some downhills, and a lot of meandering up and down trails. So hopefully we can make it up and back and get to the car before they lock the gate. It's hot in the afternoon. drenched. I don't know if you can hear me, but this has been one hell of a day hike. It's going to be about 14 time we're down. We can see the dam from here. We're at Wapama Falls right now, which is behind me. And we're getting drenched right here, but it feels good because we're both hot. Me and Jerry are hot. Dave's hot. And I'm sweating. I'm tired. There's a little rainbow over here as well. There's a little baby newt.
It's red too.
Well, we are in the tunnel, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We've hiked a total of 41,000 steps over 13 miles from the trailhead to Rancheria Falls. It was tough. It was a hard hike, and we managed to make it. I'm ready for a beer, that's for sure. By the time we made it back out across the O'Shaughnessy Dam and Jerry drove the hour and a half back down that windy cliffside road to the Cherry Valley campground, it was almost dark. Now, I had accidentally left my electrolyte packet in camp before our hike, and by the time we reached Rancheria Falls, I was beginning to cramp. Luckily, Jerry gave me half his pastrami sandwich that, loaded with salt, seemed to help quite a bit. Even now, my leg was cramping in the front seat of his Tahoe, and several times I had to push hard into the seat back to straighten out my leg. We ate our mountain house meals beside the fire and went to bed early. I must have been pretty dehydrated as I slept all night, and I never had to get up one time to pee. It had been a tough day. I was really looking forward to that big country breakfast in the morning.